More than a year ago, Paul, Dow, and Maureen and Christine and I had been planning to take a pilgrimage trip with another group to the Holy Land, but things got in the way and situations weren't right, and we ended up not doing it last year. I was at the golf tournament for the youth group last year in October, and I asked Father Tim and Father George if they had been to the Holy Land, and Father George had been 3 times, loved it, and Father Tim said it was on his bucket list. So we began the process of making a plan. And it really started with Maureen and Christine and making plans for meetings and feeding people and gathering together and sharing information nights. We brought in people from the tour company to help us with information about the area we were headed to. We got a nice seminar on the size and shape of Jerusalem and where we'd be going. So the hospitality aspect of it's always been handled by Christine, and she's found a way to make it really a pleasant thing for everyone to come to these and enjoy it. When Mass prior to each time we do these gives us an opportunity to pray together as well as break the bread. And that's how we put together such a wonderful group. Before we knew it, we were on a bus ride. It took us from C&J all the way to Logan Airport, where we hung out for a couple of hours, but did finally manage to board the plane for Istanbul. We have some characters in this group, there's no question, and this guy among them kept us laughing, and his humor was wonderful. And of course, who can forget Paul Harrington and his humor? Father led us like the true shepherd that he is. We managed to get that plane off the ground, flew our way across this incredible little map here, which is one long haul. We did land in Istanbul. They transferred us on buses across the tarmac while we were out there in the Middle East. Got into the terminal where we changed planes and continued on from Istanbul to Tel Aviv. Saw some nice friendly faces and also an empty room. But we did make it to Tel Aviv after a half an hour, 3/4 of an hour in line. We were on a bus, finally, on the bus. Our bags were all accounted for, and so were all the people. We meet Murad, and I'll let Murad introduce himself one more time.
Our pilgrims and not tourists with the words shalom and welcome home. We always say that nobody is doing for you a favor because you are coming to the birthplace of our faith. You are coming in the footsteps of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. So really you are coming to your second home. My name is Murad. Murad is an Arabic name which means inspiration. And our driver is called Ziyad. Both we are Christians. Ziyad is from the city of Haifa and I am coming from Nazareth. And when they came to Nathanael and they told him, we found the Messiah, he's coming from Nazareth, Nathanael said, no good man can come from Nazareth. So if the guide is bad, don't wonder. How was the flight?
Very good.
Okay, comfortable, everything is okay? We praise the Lord. Now, Ziyad went to pay the parking fee. From here, we will drive to Netanya. Over there, we will stay in our hotel for one night. This is the program for today. And actually, it will take us 45 minutes till we reach the hotel. And tomorrow is a very exciting and wonderful day that is waiting for us. So first of all, let me deliver for you the hats and the maps, which are a part of the package. It's a good voice. It seems that you are tired, but it's okay. Okay, let me deliver the maps and the hats, and then I will give a humble background which is needed to understand the history of our country. Please.
So arriving in the hotel in Netanya in the middle of the night really didn't give us a chance to explore it too well. It had to have one of the most unbelievable breakfast buffets I've ever seen. So I had to take some pictures of this stuff just to prove that they eat pizza at breakfast. No one would have believed me. But we all managed to get a half an hour's worth of that, and then the next thing you know, we're on a bus with guess who? So Murad put us all on the bus, got us tucked away, and began the process. We had all our bags underneath the bus. Our first stop was Caesarea Philippi. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But as far as what I can remember, it was Herod's palace in the beautiful part of the Mediterranean, and he lavishly splurged on himself. So we got to see some ruins on a brutally hot day. It was the very first thing we did after starting our pilgrimage, and found ourselves moving on to getting our baptismal vows renewed, which was really special. I took as many pictures of trying to get everybody in that I could. Another group of Hispanics joined us, which made it even better. That's a fish by my big right toe. And everybody's in there getting their feet wet. We were obviously discussing, why some people next to us here are getting soaked and why we're just doing our feet. And the reason is you can't be baptized twice. So then we went to the place where I believe Jesus was cooking fish on the beach. We all got our feet wet in the Galilee, Sea of Galilee, beautiful thing. Water played a big part in our trip. And as we continue through the water part of this thing, with everybody walking on those incredible rocks, can't forget that Eileen fell in. Somebody always does. I guess the best water experience had to be right here. And we had this wonderful opportunity. Well, so much for blending in, traveling incognito. That was an amazing experience in the silence out on the water, looking at the Golan Heights and realizing it's the same view from 2,000 years ago. Listening to Murad tell us the history, pointing out all the different places on the shoreline, and all of us really feeling the moment was really special. And I'll let these pictures just kind of keep on going, sister. How sweet is that?
We read too from Matthew. After he had fed the people, Jesus made the disciples get into a boat and precede him to the other side, while he dismissed the crowds. After doing so, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. When it was evening, he was there alone. Meanwhile, the boat, already a few miles offshore, was being tossed about by the waves, for the wind was against it. During the fourth watch of the night, he came toward them, walking on the sea. When the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were terrified. "It is a ghost," they said. They cried out in fear. At once, Jesus spoke to them. "Take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid." Peter said to him in reply, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." He said, "Come." Peter got out of the boat and began to walk on the water toward Jesus. But when he saw how strong the wind was, he became frightened, and beginning to sink, he cried out, "Lord, save me!" Immediately, Jesus stretched out his hand and caught Peter and said to him, "O you of little faith, why did you doubt?" After they got into the boat, the wind died down. Those who were in the boat did him homage, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God."
A lot of smiles. Just an absolutely beautiful time and a great way to bring us all together in one small place, enjoy each other's company. And it wasn't too long. At least it didn't take us too long to get singing going in a pretty big way as we were on the boat here. It was just so perfect, and these guys had the music all queued up. So music, as we can see, was a big part of our entire pilgrimage, and it really enhanced it greatly.
From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. To show the way from the earth to the cross, my debt is paid. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high.
It's just too much to consolidate into 10 minutes. We visited places that Jesus walked. We visited the place where he died, where he rose from the dead. We had masses and worship together in places that we will never forget. And so many of them so quickly that even as I look at them, it takes me a minute to figure out where we were. But that's the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, the places we venerated, the lines we stood in to do it. The masses, I think, were just superb, as were all the people who participated. Our clergy was great, our readers. How about this one where we gather together around the altar? Reminds me of the Cursillo experiences that many of us enjoy. It's really great. And this young Franciscan who took care of us while we were there. These guys changing in closets like supermen. Another magnificent church. I think this is the Last Supper. I think that's Mary, I think. About wooden carvings. Did we see some of those? I'd say so. Some of the most amazing work. Beautiful. The unfortunate part about it is it's as beautiful as it is as expensive as it was. So I withstood the temptation. But I did sneak a few pictures of them, I must say. Even met the manager's son. Mount of Olives, Chapel of the Ascension. Mary. This guy. The chic. Peace in the Garden of Gethsemane with the old tree. Would you buy a used car from this man? Ah, the king lives. What a treat that was. Burgers and beers with Elvis. We covered some ground, didn't we? Just amazing. Church of the Visitation. More. Signs, signs, everywhere a sign. From now on, it gets random, and there'll be no double takes. The holy stairs. I had to shoot that picture. St. Peter, for us Cursillistas, the rooster means something. The whole family tree of Jesus, I got to expand that. King David, up close and personal. Yep. One more time with the Holy Family Tree. Got to go here one day. As we processed down to the Garden of Gethsemane, down the stairs, those must be the holy stairs. And all the grave sites, Jerusalem, the thorns. Amazing. More rooster. Domes. He kept referring to the domes and what the domes signified in all the architecture. I got infatuated with domes and signs. More signs. What's that doing here? Don't drop it, Paul. It's a long way down. This place was spectacular. The Dove Keepers. Breathless. More signs. Really something to see the ruins that have not been built upon. Is that you, Father? How about Herod? What a self-centered, scum-sucking dog. And about those Romans building a way up. It's an interesting warning. Torah law. This is when we went to Temple Mount. Met our Israeli guards. The mosque. The green door. And the Wailing Wall. Selfie. What are you guys looking at? It's one of those panos with the round Wailing Wall. Just wanted to prove I touched it. These guys with the wooden knobs on their head. Forget what those meant. Maybe somebody can tell me after the movie. More signs. World Peace Center. And King David's tomb. Ah, chauffeur transportation. How about this model? And at night, that was pretty far out. Pomegranates for tonight. Don't ask me. Father is at the Shepherd's Field, and now we're in Shepherd's Cave. And that would be light shining down on Bethlehem. I couldn't resist this picture with Sister. Church of the Nativity. That was an event. How about the dense pack mode? Crawling into a hole with the time running out, the clock ticking, and we're still smiling. Got a little gamey in there. But we hung tough. Also, we could get inside this little spot where they believe it happened. Lazarus' tomb. Man, that was something. Down we go. Rise, Father. Ah, Dead Sea. Who's that fool? Some crazy views. Cooling off. Dead Sea Scrollsville. That was a hot afternoon, wasn't it? Can't imagine living there like those people did. Murad. Beatitudes. Took a picture of all of them. Ah, the cave. Remember where the cave? It was day one. Very hot. Upon this rock I will build my church. That's where Jesus told Peter that because he knew something that only God could tell him. Peter's house. Peter's hood. More Peter's house. More of the hood. Peter's fish. Before. Peter's fish after. Nice job, Father. More Murad. He loves them. There's St. Peter. Last, I can't leave out the Way of the Cross and the Via Dolorosa, or Herod's Gate, where we entered so that we could do this. It was quite the thing. Ziad, how'd you get in there? More of the road. Teaching the group. A rare session with us all together. Back on the road. The Way of the Cross. And the world going around. Another pomegranate reminder. It's almost time. Finishing up the Stations of the Cross. One more picture of the Holy Sepulchre and how we got at it. We'll close with the group photo from the Mount of Olives with Jerusalem behind us. The whole gang, all of us with Riyadh down front there, our famous bus driver, and who could forget having our marriage vows renewed. Game over. Good night.